get your ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days. No toxic work environments, and show up and do the work.
My job could be to slide over and allow the women of Rebel HQ who work so hard to bring you the news from their point of view during Women's History Month, no less. But I do want to briefly say something on behalf of my mom and my wife. First, this isn't news, but what Kim Kardashian said was clearly tone deaf. I have no idea what she could be talking about when she said it seems like people don't want to work anymore. What is she referencing? Where are her sources? Like, aside from the people who say they don't want to work. And why are her sisters co-signing this nonsense? Also, does she not know that she's setting a bad example here? This kind of stuff is the reason why her little sister, Kylie Jenner, thinks she's a self-made billionaire. Let me say this. Kim does work hard. She went from a closet organizing business to being interviewed by Variety with much of her family who, again, are also rich and famous. All the while her ex-husband keeps trying to clone her. Kim is also reportedly trying to become a lawyer. She's been there for people who need legal counsel and litigation. But was there any other things in Kim's life that either helped her on her way up or didn't break her when she made mistakes? Was it just hard work, or did other things that were out of her control work in her favor? My mother worked at a Honda plant when I was a little boy, putting together handbrakes. Long 40 to 50 hour work weeks. She's not rich and famous. My wife is a power lifter, and I can guarantee you that it took a lot of hard work for her to deadlift 3 times her body weight, especially in an unflattering singlet. She's not rich and famous. Both my mom and my wife deserve a lot more for putting up with me, by the way. Sure, Kim was answering a question, but I wonder if she thinks what she had to say will help others. As Teresa's baby hair put it, there's a big difference between Kim Kardashian's get up and work and Britney's you better work. Maybe a message like hers will be accepted differently from someone else. That's all. All of this reminds me of how the Kardashians are confused about the ways in which they've contributed to body image issues for women and girls all around the world. Even those who put in work at the gym and don't surround themselves with toxic people, only to find out that they don't get the same results as those they see on Keeping Up with the Kardashians because they can't afford plastic surgery and high quality Photoshop.
You don't have passion in it, it's not easy, regardless of how it looks. And I think people see things with instant gratification because of social media, that they think it just comes easy to people. It doesn't, especially if you want something long term.
I'll end on this, and I probably shouldn't because we've all been told that we shouldn't, but it must be nice to earn $20 million for doing something that billions of women around the world do.
What a pack of delusional conspiracy theorists entitled tender-footed toddlers these selfish morons are. Crybaby Convoy, and you're darn right nobody cares about their showboating and stupidity. Trying to plug up public highways because they're so oppressed. They're so oppressed that they can take off on a fool's errand, wasting fuel, wasting time, and when their pointless quest lays an eggs, they go off to their own little suburban blue heavens in their heated, warm little beds to cry their oppression tears into their my pillows. Think about this, people. Some people have trouble securing food and clean water to survive, and others protest because their little fascist dictator lost an election, because Six Flags won't let them in without a mask. Oh, the tribulations. These fools got just what they deserved. Their plans foiled and defeated by daily traffic. A pack of losers just like their moron former president. Now they'll all start telling each other that the American Freedom Convoy was a big success. They shut down Washington. All masks in the country were eradicated, and Trump walked on water and was reinstated in a holy anointing for all eternity. After all, playing make-believe is all these loser crowd really has going for them. The People's Convoy, they call themselves, on the little homemade signs that look like they were created by preschoolers. And they pasted their signs on their rigs with Elmer's glue with cute little slogans about government conspiracies and Bible prophecies, all of which, of course, center around their own little conjured issues. Real issues like war and famine are just par for the course, but having to wear a mask, now that's injustice in its most cruel form, inhumane torture. So they paraded down the interstate with this Jacqueline's regalia streaming on. They basically painted themselves morons to every passing motorist. At least one thing about modern American politics, it's much easier than before to identify who's insane, who you don't want to stand next to in line, who you have to basically nod at and slowly walk away if they try to start a conversation. You know, a scary kind of crazy. The same people who played Renaissance Fair at our Capitol on January the 6th. I actually know a guy who made himself a shield to go take the Capitol for Trump, like it was the real version of his Lego castle set. To say these people are bananas is an undue insult to fruit.
That's not me changing. That's things changing. I'm reacting to it, as I've always been. you know, letting 3-year-olds decide what gender they are. This wasn't something 5 years ago.
Yes, Bill, the world is changing, and that's a good thing. This is Rebel HQ. I'm Sandy Lovis. Bill Maher sat down with Ben Shapiro to have a heart-to-heart on current issues, and Bill's perspective, his bubble, no, that's not it, privilege. Bill's privilege was on full display.
Yes, we have a very sorry history racially in this country, including a lot of stuff that's still going on right now. I mean, it's not like racism is extirpated here in America, but it is very different than it was, and we need to live in the present era, in the present time with the present conditions.
No, we don't. We can fight for change.
If woke, I assume at a certain moment, and it wasn't that long ago before we didn't have the term. I only heard it, I don't know, what, it was 3-4 years ago? 5 years ago at most when we heard the term woke, and it was like alert to injustice. I'm like, okay, I'm down with that. I always have been. I hope people still understand that about me. But yes, it became sort of a byword for a lot of this goofy stuff.
Goofy? These issues, trans rights, the need to defund the police. What? Because they don't affect you? They're goofy? People have died because we're not talking about these issues. They're not goofy issues to the people it's affecting every day.
That's what I'm always railing against. That's why, like, they play me on Fox News now.
They play you on Fox News because you're a useful idiot.
Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about that? Because you went from the guy who was...
I feel, look, I haven't changed at all. My politics hasn't changed. They've changed. People say to me sometimes, you know, have you changed? No. It's that 5 years ago, no one was talking about defunding the police. I never heard that phrase 5 years ago.
The idea of defund the police isn't a new idea. It's been going on for ages. We're just talking about it more now. The need to defund the police is becoming more and more apparent the more and more we see police violence on majority people of color. People have been killed by the police, people who would still be alive, who didn't need to die because of the actions of the police.
That's not me changing. That's things changing. I'm reacting to it, as I've always been.
So I want to address this comment. White America used to be very much in favor of welfare, especially when they were the only ones who benefited from it. Now, the Social Security Act deliberately excluded certain classes of people from being able to get benefits. And among those, it excluded non-whites by adding the clause, domestic servants and agricultural workers could not get benefits. It added a clause where the states could determine if people in those positions deserve those benefits or not.
Welfare is a really interesting subject because on the one hand, we're familiar with the messaging to tear it down, but on the other, we know that welfare programs such as Medicaid and Medicare remain to be the most popular program, Social Security, that the federal government has ever put forth. In fact, in 1935, the Social Security Act put forth these programs in response to the economic fallout of the Great Depression. But of course, at the time, those benefits were only for white Americans, primarily so. And in fact, the Southern Dixiecrats said that they'd rather their people starve instead of letting African Americans get any of these benefits. And so that type of messaging started to change about the benefits of welfare programs when the Civil Rights Act was passed, because then other people could have access to it. And now all of a sudden, they're getting our money. We're paying for the others. We're no longer just helping ourselves.
But the 1960s Civil Rights Acts changed that and made these benefits available to everyone. And suddenly, the messaging changed. So starting in the 1970s, we start seeing, oh, we're building a nation of entitlement, a nation of people who think that they deserve things. And this is a complete flip-flop from earlier messaging. This is why when we changed it in the 90s,
and of course, after the Civil Rights Act, the tone and messaging on welfare began to change, especially when we came into the Ronald Reagan administration. We're all familiar with the term welfare queens and how those types of things started to really be pushed in the messaging to then take down social programs, because now it's a waste of money. Now it's fiscal irresponsibility. Now, of course, we're paying for the blacks and the Mexicans and the immigrants. And that's why that messaging is transferred into things like universal health care, free education, just the moocher attitude attitude. If we give to people, it's going to make them weak. It's going to make them not want to work. It's going to make them want to sit at home and just mooch off of the government. When in reality, again, these welfare programs are created originally and still to this day to just help people get ahead. Because when you give people a leg up, when you help people get ahead just a little bit, typically most adults are going to be responsible enough to do things like go to work, because people want to live a life of purpose. People want to be fulfilled. People want to have an existence that means something. People, in fact, don't want to just sit around on the couch. And that's how the messaging has been flipped. If you're receiving welfare, if you're not white, then you're just lazy. But if you're white, it's because you just need some help.